It's that time of year where hams are being prepared everywhere for the holidays. And let's be honest, you can take that ham, unwrap it, pop it in the oven, cook it to the directions on the package, and you're going to end up with something that tastes pretty good. But you can do a little better too. And we're going to do that today by smoking an already smoked ham. It's called double smoking a ham. It's pretty common to do out on the grill, but we're also going to add a couple extra layers of flavor. So let's get started. Now, what I want to get going first is a glaze that's going to go on near the end of the cooking process. Now, because this is already a cooked ham, you could literally take it, slice it, and eat it cold. But we're going to bring it up to temp. I like to get it to about 140, 145 degrees internal, just for comfortable eating because it's going to rest for a few minutes after that. About 110 degrees, we're going to put a glaze on it, just to sort of set that outer flavor layer. Now we're starting with a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. To this, I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of Dijon mustard, and we're just going to eyeball this. Next, we need a liquid component to thin this out. And you could use pomegranate juice, but I'm actually going to use something a little different. I'm going to use this pomegranate sparkling beverage, so it's carbonated. I think this is going to work well. I'm going to use about half of it to start. So we're starting with 4 ounces. That way, when it's time to glaze, if this is too thick, we can thin it out. Our next ingredient, honey. I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of honey. Want to give that a stir to help incorporate that honey. You can add a little bit more honey here, maybe another 1/4 cup, so we'll have a total of half a cup of honey. Mix. That honey's pretty thick, so take your time here. Now that looks pretty thin, but the idea behind a glaze like this is you're going to kind of drizzle it over the top of the ham when it's time. You can also make a very, very thick glaze with a lot less liquid and more, say, honey and brown sugar, and sort of paint it on with a brush. But I like doing it this way sometimes because it gives, I think, more of an even layer of that glaze on the outside. All right, I'm going to cover this. It's going in the refrigerator, and let's move on to our ham. So here is the ham we're working with today. It's a 10-pound, I want to say spiral cut ham, but if you look closely, you'll see that the spiral cuts on this seem to stop about halfway up the ham. So we have a partially spiral cut ham today. I didn't know that. You know, you buy these, they're cryovac, but we're going to work with it and it's going to be great. Now I want to get a little bit of a rub on the outside. I'm not going to heavily coat this, but I'm going to be using Meat Mitch's pork rub. Again, this is about an extra layer of flavor as this starts getting smoke out on the grill. I think you can also see I also have this on a grilling rack. This makes it so much easier when you are lifting off a ham, especially a spiral cut ham from the grill. And once you get it inside, you can use some, big spatulas to get it off of this and onto a serving platter. But this really, really works well for things like ham. I use it on a lot of things, but I love this. All right, let's head out to the grill. All right, the Camp Chef Woodwind Wi-Fi 24 is up to temp. My set temp today is 275 degrees and my smoke setting is 4. You can set it from 1 to 10 in this, I believe. I'm burning a mixture of cherry and maple pellets. So let's go ahead and get our ham on. Gonna get my temperature probe down in here. All right, we're gonna close this up. We're gonna come back when we hit 110 internal and give it that nice glaze. See you back here in a little bit. All right, we're at the 1 hour mark. Our internal temp is 56 degrees. I just decided, let's give this a look. Maybe it needs a spritz. That's looking really good. But I do want to give it a spritz, and I'm just going to use plain water. All right, let's get the lid closed up, and we'll come back when we hit that 110 internal. All right, we're about to hit 110 degrees internal. Let's go ahead, take a look at our ham and glaze it. I am liking the looks of that. Going to drizzle our glaze on here. All right, we're going to close this up and let this continue to 145 internal. See you back here in a little bit. All right, we're about to hit 145 degrees out here on this nice, cool day in Southern California. I actually get to wear a flannel shirt today. But let's take a look at our ham and get ready to get it off of here. I am very happy with that color. So yeah, that's ready to come off, and it's going to go inside. It's going to rest for about 20 minutes loosely covered with foil. Then we will have a taste. Well, here is our ham. It's been resting for 20 minutes. The cook outside took about 3.5 hours at 275. Now, that time is going to change based upon the temperature you cook it at, whether it's in the oven or on the grill. And I think I've decided I'm going to call this a Pomegranate Dijon Glazed ham because of the glaze we made. And I think you can really see here what I talked about earlier. The lower half seems to have gotten the spiral cut, and they neglected the upper half. It's just a machine that does this, so somehow this ham only got half the treatment. But let's cut a piece and have a taste. Let's see if we can get down in some of the spiral cuts there. Oh wow, that looks good. Get a couple pieces here. All right, cheers. I mean, it's a ham. It's going to taste good. That's what it's supposed to do at this time of year. But those two other layers of flavor, not counting the smoke, that we added are really coming through, especially on the outside when you bite. You've got that rub, and you can use any rub you want or no rub at all. I always like to say that I pick the rubs that I like. You may not like that specific rub, or you may not be able to get it. So pick your favorite rub, or just leave it off and do the glaze. But man, that rub came through nicely. And that Pomegranate Dijon Glaze is really nice. It's got a nice tang because of the Dijon, and I think mixing a little bit with the pomegranate there, and it just works so well on this. And I want to make it clear, even though I used that sparkling pomegranate drink, you could use just regular pomegranate juice. I just decided to try that even though I was going to use regular pomegranate juice. I think this was a nice little addition. If you can get that, go ahead and do that. If not, pomegranate juice will work fine, and the ham's going to turn out terrific.